What we're going to be doing is starting a project I'm calling Feast Your Eyes on This Art. This is what the final draft kind of looks like. Obviously, you'll put your own touch on yours, but just so you understand kind of where we're going. It's not like it's sitting on a plate. It's scattered all around, and it's kind of just a random collection of Thanksgiving food. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is a whole pie. So I'm starting over here. So angled line, and then I'm connecting the bottom with a slight curve. Again, please don't shout out. All right, and then the crust of the pie is going to be, it's going to curve, but it's going to be a wavy line. All right, and then I'm going to add a straight line. So this is saying this is where the crust is ending, and the top part of the pie is going to start. I know. All right, and then I'm going to put a dome top. So this will be more like an apple pie, which I know you can do the lattice one where things are like overlapping, but that one takes a lot more time. So you could leave it like this, but I like to add like these little teardrop shapes because a lot of people slice these in the top of a pie so that the air has somewhere to escape and it doesn't like blow up. All right, everybody good so far? Yeah. All right, next we're going to do a slice of pie. So I'm going to do a rectangle that angles down, an angled rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfect because remember it's a pie, so sometimes if you cut it weird, it has weird lines, so don't worry about being perfect. The back line right here, this is the outside edge of the pie, it's going to be rounded because the pie edges are rounded. Slightly curved, not crazy round. Okay, and then I'm going to connect these two spots with a straight line. All right, so now this shape, it could be used for cake, cheese, pie. Okay, that's something you could use a lot. But for now, I'm going to use it, it's going to be pumpkin pie. So I'm going to have a wavy line for the crust on the back, and then I'm going to extend it down where you can see the back of the crust back there. You could actually extend it on the bottom too, because you have crust underneath, but. All right, so you can leave it like that. Here's my painted one. I added whipped cream on top, so I can show you all how to do that. So I'm going to erase just a little bit where I want that whipped cream to go. I'm going to start with the C shape, so like a letter C. And then I'm going to add a parenthesis shape, so or more C shapes. And then like a little kind of shark fin on top, or like a little wave. Next, I'm going to do just a turkey leg. I'll do a whole turkey later, but for now I'm going to do a turkey leg. So it's, we're going to do like a rounded shape. So it doesn't even have to be perfect. So it's kind of messed up. Like a really stretched out letter C, I guess. I don't know. So curve it around, extend it, and then it's going to have a zigzag line at the bottom. All right, and then from here I'm going to extend two straight lines. And then like a heart shape for the end of the bone. Okay, so there's a turkey leg, and then you could add some texture lines in there. All right, and then I'm gonna do a ham, like a ham leg, or I don't know what you call it. Anyway. All right, so we're going to start with an oval that's really skinny. That looks good. And really messed up looking, like it got run over by a car. A skinny oval that looks like it got run over by a car. All right, and then I'm going to extend the sides down, down, and then it comes out just a little bit, and then kind of like the turkey leg, jagged line, and the bone. Okay, and then you've got that ham bone thing, which is going to be another little skinny oval. And then there's usually like a pattern, like a grid pattern on here. So I'm going to draw lines angled down to the right, and then lines angled up to the right. And then there was my turkey leg painted. Well, it was kind of big, so it's kind of hard to see on screen. And then there's my little ham painted. So I started with the turkey leg, and I made it really big, and then I realized I wanted to add a bunch of other stuff, so it's giant. No, I think it's like off to the side. All right. All right, let's go next row or wherever this fits. This one should be a review because it's like how we normally draw trees, just like a lot fatter. It's just me a broccoli. So you start with the trunk, but again, it's a little bit wider. And then the bottom is just going to have a few little bumpities on the bottom. Okay, and then I Y it out, add the V, Y it out, add the V. Okay. And then add bumpity bumps all on the top. Again, please stop yelling out. And then you could kind of define like those little lines in the stalk. Yes. I don't know. It really is. This is really big. There it is painted. And I tried to do like darker lines of the watercolor so you could accentuate those little lines. All right. Okay, so next we're going to draw a bowl. So I'm going to have curved angled lines. And then a curved bottom line. So again, this is a bowl. So this you could use for lots of different things. You could have broccoli in there, peas, macaroni. We're going to do potatoes. Curved line for the top. Yep. Actually, they're more like wavy waves. All right. And then they're just kind of layer. So you've got like the lumpy mashed potatoes, or these could be sweet potatoes. So there's my bowl. I did a bowl of sweet potatoes on my painting, and then I did a plate of mashed potatoes, which I actually really didn't like the way it turned out too much. I don't know. It's like better than any other. All right, we're going to draw another bowl. So curved line, curved line, curved line, curved line. Why are you sending me an audio message? Okay, and then this is going to be macaroni and cheese. So I'm going to have bumpity bumps along the top. Okay. So, and then what you'll do is skinny oval. Oh, that's a really big macaroni. And then curve it, skinny oval, curve it. So that one's ginormous. Don't make them that big. Skinny oval, curve it, and just kind of place them randomly throughout. You probably won't see the whole thing because part of them are hidden. So just do a few of those, and then you'll add just curved lines for like the parts of the noodles. You don't see the whole thing. Okay, so here's mine painted, macaroni and cheese. Yeah, it was really cheesy. And maybe if it was extra cheesy, the cheese is just spilling over the edge. All right. Next to me, corn on the cob. So I'm going to draw a curved line. And then my favorite bumpity bumps. And it gets a little bit skinnier on the end. I guess if you had the kind where like the ends were both cut off, it would be straight on both sides, but that's not how I drew mine. All right, lots of bumpity bumps on this one. So rows of them. And they don't have to be perfect or even go all the way across. Kind of like when we talked about bricks, just doing little bits of it at a time. And then I add random lines throughout just to kind of define little sections. But you do not have to spend a bunch of time trying to draw every single little corn cob or little corn kernel. It'll take forever. And then you could leave it like that. I like to add the little like husk that comes off. Looks very Thanksgiving-y. And then there's mine painted. And then again with the Sharpie, I just kind of redefine some of those little lines. Yeah. Yes, Greg. All right. Next, we're going to do a full turkey. We're going to start with a dome shape or curve shape. And then where the head of the turkey once was, there's a bump. And then it's going to flatten out. Well, it's still curved, but it's slightly flatter. And then where his tail once was, there's another little bump. All right, and then we're going to add the turkey legs off to the side. So they kind of like come up and off to the left. So just like we drew earlier, jagged line, and then the little bone comes off. Or if you've ever seen those little fancy ones where they put like the little chef hat looking thing on the feet. Have you ever seen those? No. Oh. All right. Yeah, like I'm a racist. And then they have like a little chef hat looking thing. No, like that. Where they put that on the end. Yeah, like it, but it's like it looks like a tiny little chef hat. I'm gonna look it up. All right, and then a wing curves up, curves down, and then looks very wing-like, like that, like a dinosaur head. All right, and then you could put it on a plate. You don't have to, but if you wanted to put it on a plate, or if you wanted to add like garnish. Just when you're coloring it, you would try to make it look shiny. I didn't paint a whole turkey, but again, there's my turkey leg. So I left like, I did parts orange, parts brown, some shiny.
Is this Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Football.
Well, it's food. All right. All right, next, we're going to do canned cranberries. If you wanted to do like regular cranberries, you could put it in the bowl and have just like some bumps. But this is like canned cranberry sauce, okay? All right, so skinny oval. I don't eat this either, but we're drawing it. And then bumpities, and then the back is going to be curved because it takes on those little bumpities from the can. And then you'll just have a few little lines going down. And then if you want like a piece that's sliced off, it's like a curved rectangle and then a dome on top, be a little slice. And then there's my painted one. I put some little cranberries next to it, but there's my painted cranberry sauce. All right, next we're gonna do a little gravy boat. So we're gonna start with a little flat line. And then an angled line down. And then a slight curve, but almost straight. This can be a gravy boat. It's going to make sense in a minute. All right, so I'm going to connect these two sides with a U shape. Carmelo, please stop yelling out. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy this line, put it right behind it. Okay, just stop. And I'm going to add a handle. So you could leave it like that. I like to add the base and do two curved lines on the sides. Looks like it has little legs. And then a slight smile shape. And then if you did want some gravy, like pouring out, I drew one of mine like that. You could have some splashing. All right. Or you could just have it like sitting there. Oh, Chip.
Yeah, because I cut off the top right there and then boom, that's up.
Yeah. What's the mom's name? Mrs. Potts? That one's cute. All right. If you wanted to add cheese, it's the same thing like the pie, but now you just add holes in it. Who doesn't? It's like, it could be appetizer. So you could have cheese and maybe some bread, which is a slight curved line on the bottom, bigger dome on top, and then some V shapes. You would just draw circles. So there's some peas. Or you could put them in a bowl. Green beans, again, you do kind of the same thing. Or you could draw the kind with the little bumpity bumps. I feel like these look more like edamame. It's peas, like green beans, like in a pod. Or maybe this is peas in a pod. But no, green beans look like this. Not the canned kinds. Canned kinds are more like. These look like French fries. Last thing I'm gonna draw, again, not like a real food item, but a side item, is butter. Can't have any of this without butter. Yeah, stick of butter, so it's a rectangular prism. And if you wanted a little slice, like maybe you've already cut a piece off, maybe it's melty a little bit, maybe it's on a plate. All right, so I think that's about it. You'll be able to add your own, and then for your final, hey, please stop talking. For your final, you're going to pick at least 5. How many? At least 5. But if you only do 5, you should not be drawing everything this big. Okay, that's way too little, especially if you only have 5. And then we'll talk about coloring later. So we're just drawing first.